What if the cross was never meant to be stopped? What if God's plan was to let his son die in silence? From a wooden manger in Bethlehem to a wooden cross on Calvary, with every breath of Jesus' life moved toward this moment of silence. The crowd saw a healer, religious leaders saw a threat, but heaven saw a bridge that would reconnect God and man. Why didn't God just rewrite the rules? Why allow blood, pain, nails, when a single word could have stopped it all? From heaven's view, it wasn't chaos. Every lash, every tear, every nail was part of a rescue plan written before stars first burned. Peter thought swinging a sword could save Jesus, but heaven's victory wasn't written in steel. It was written in surrender. And then came the garden, where Jesus prayed and heaven stayed silent. This silence wasn't abandonment. It was love's loudest answer. And if you believe this truth deserves to be heard, click subscribe and walk this journey with us. At dawn, betrayal arrived with a kiss, and as soldiers dragged him away, heaven stayed silent. False witnesses, jeering crowds, and through it all, Jesus said nothing. Pilate asked, "Don't you hear these charges?" And yet, Jesus stood silent. Crowds screamed for Barabbas, and heaven's answer was still silence. They whipped him until his back was shredded, and not a single word came from his lips. The crown of thorns mocked his king, and yet he uttered no insult in return. He carried his cross, stumbling under the weight of humanity's sin, and still the Father did not intervene. Simon of Cyrene, forced to help. Even then, heaven stayed silent. Women wept along the road, but Jesus looked at them and said, "Don't weep for me, but for yourselves and your children." On Golgotha's hill, Roman hammers rang out, and still, heaven stayed silent. Two thieves hung beside him. One cursed, one cried for mercy, and paradise opened for a sinner. Darkness swallowed the sky, as if creation itself mourned its creator. With labored breath, he whispered, "Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing." Then, the cry that shook eternity, my God, why have you forsaken me?" At that moment, the temple veil ripped from top to bottom. No longer would sin separate man from God. And with his final breath, Jesus whispered, "It is finished." This was no defeat. It was the greatest victory heaven ever won. If this story moves you, share this video so others discover why God stayed silent. Even in death, heaven's silence thundered louder than words, because through that silence, love spoke forever. 3 days later, the stone rolled away, and silence gave birth to resurrection. From silence to salvation, this was always the plan. And because of this silent decision, every chain of sin is broken, and every soul can find freedom. If you've wondered why God stayed silent, it was for you. Right now, open your heart, whisper, "Jesus, save me," and let his silent sacrifice thunder in your life forever. There's more to this story than you've ever heard. Hit like, tap subscribe, and unlock the hidden truths of God's greatest plan.